Hello, I'm from the US and I've been called to inherit a property from my mother that presently lives in Madrid. My name is Michael Davis. I'm a Spanish lawyer, Spanish attorney, as they say in the US, and I specialize in probate, inheritance tax, inheritance-related litigation. I've been handling these cases for expats all over Spain, including the islands, since 1996. Okay, so if you're from the US and inheriting a property in Madrid, and you're inheriting from your mum, the first, we'll start off with some good news. The good news is that now, under the new system, the law was passed last year, non-residents that are residents of non-EU countries are now also allowed to claim the regional exemptions. For various years before this, there were various sentences that said they should be entitled to, but the law hadn't actually been changed. So now there's no doubt. What does that mean? Well, it means that if what you're inheriting is in Madrid, you're very lucky because of the 17 regions of Spain, Madrid, together with Andalusia, has one of the most beneficial beneficial levels of exemptions for inheritance tax for spouse and children. So up in Madrid, basically, we work out your inheritance tax based on a sliding scale. And then once we've applied the sliding scale to the value of what you're receiving, we're allowed a 99% deduction. In other words, the conclusion is it going to pay much less than 1%, a lot less than 1% of the value of the estate. So you're going to pay very little inheritance tax. So that's the good news. Okay, so let's go into the rest of things. So if you're in the States, it's nowadays there's no difference from you're in the States or basically in any other country or EU country. It doesn't make any difference. So in the States, like almost any other civilized country, you can organize a power of attorney for your lawyer, like myself or somebody else. And you can do this in two ways. You can either do it at a Spanish consulate, or in the US, you can also do it in front of a notary. That would actually require the lawyer in Spain, like I asked, we'd send the document over to him in two columns, and you'd have it witnessed in front of a notary over there in the States. We do it very often. There's no problem at all. So basically, if there's a Spanish will, hopefully your mum did make a Spanish will. Let me see. Well, I see. In your case, your mum made a Spanish will, so that's perfect. So if you're the only beneficiary, it's all straightforward. You send over a power of attorney to a lawyer in Spain. If you haven't got a Spanish tax number, which you probably won't, this is called a Spanish NI number. We will obtain one for you. And then we will initiate the probate process. The first step is going to be to prove that the will that you're showing us, which may have a signature on it or may not, because it's called, there's two types, copia simple, copia autorizada. It doesn't matter, because if it hasn't got a signature, we can get hold of the one with the signature for you. So we'd go ahead and we have to prove the will. To prove the will, it makes sure it's the last will in Spain. There's a central register. We apply to it. They will confirm that is the last will. Then, if you haven't got what's called a copia autorizada, we will get hold of that from the notary where it was signed, or whatever notary has taken over his files if he's since retired or move. It's often the case. So obviously, we'll also need to locate where all the assets are. And if you're living in the States, your mum was living here, you may have that information to hand or may not. Hopefully you will, or otherwise we'll need to try and find the things for you. So if your mum had a property, as you say in the email, then obviously she'll at least have a Spanish bank account somewhere. We'll have to check, make sure there's no life insurance policies, and maybe she has a car, and if she does, we've got to add it all into the estate. So then we go forward and we will organize and acceptance of inheritance deed. We do all that for you. Then we get tax clearance. Then we will register the new deed with the property register, deal with the plusvalía tax to the town hall of Madrid. In this case, they're extremely efficient at collecting their plusvalía tax. But plusvalía tax is not normally a large amount. I mean, if your mum has got a flat anywhere in Madrid and it's had it sort of, I don't know how long I'm inventing it, 15, 20 years, I mean, it's a flat. Plusvalía tax probably anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 euro. Those are sort of the figures that we're talking about. Then obviously we'll get there. Obviously, we need to get the inheritance tax clearance. So all that will be done by us. These low levels of inheritance tax that we're just talking about, that will not be an issue. We do have to move fairly quickly because in Spain we have 6 months to wind up an estate and get tax clearance. If you contract us, if you don't say here when your mum passed away, but I mean if we're sort of 2 or 3 months into it, the first thing I would do for you is request an extension. I explain to the tax man what's happened, and then they will just allow me an extra 6 months. But we have to make that application within the first 5 months. So, well, we wind it all up, and then you may wish to either keep the property or sell the property. When we organize the powers of attorney for you, the solicitor in our office that deals with the powers of attorney, she will be asking you whether we include the faculty to sell or not, depending on what you're going to do after you've inherited. That's sort of it in a nutshell. Those are the basics. Obviously, the way we always start off with our clients is, well, if you're in the States, we'd organize a Zoom consultation to go through your situation. And people always ask, do you charge for the initial Zoom consultation? Well, unfortunately, we do. We charge €181 for 1 hour of our time. But we do ask you for the documents beforehand. So we have it all worked out. We have to do it that way because we have so many consultations now. We'd be spending a whole day doing consultations, and it would be the end of the bread on the table for our families. So we have to charge the Zoom consultation. It doesn't matter if at the end of the Zoom consultation everything's going to go ahead and you're going to hire us, then we simply not the Zoom consultation is deducted from the fee for probate that we will send you. So basically, after the meeting, where we will have gone through the documents that you've sent us previously, we'll send you some forms to fill in, etc. After we've gone through everything, as soon as we finish the meeting, which you're welcome if you like to, we can record the Zoom consultation and send it to you after, so that you can help you remember later what we've discussed. After the meeting, we will send you a budget with the full breakdown of all the taxes and fees to expect. And there's not only our own, but we'll also send you an approximation that's going to be very exact of the notary fee, the registrar fee, etc. If there's a Spanish will, we will send our fee as an exact number or percentage, depending on the circumstances. I hope you found the video useful. And I hope that if you are inheriting a property in Madrid, that you contact us. You can find our details below. And I say we always start off with a Zoom call. We can meet, we can go through things. You can ask me any questions you like. I'll explain what the process is, and then after that, I'll send you a budget and time scale for you to decide on. Thank you for watching.